There's some spoons over there. Yeah, there's some spoons over there. Okay.
All right, let's get started. Joe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I am Tom.
And I am Joe.
And this is Noah Huntsville. We have another edition of Inside the Mash Tun. This time, we are at Brew Stooges, the world famous Brew Stooges. Everybody give it up. Located at 109 Maple, kind of downtown, but they have a tap room open Thursday through Saturday.
That's right.
Yep. And all kinds of activities. Guys, thanks for letting us come here, drink your beer, and beer floats.
That's right.
And thanks for talking to us about Brew Stooges.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, so we got Jeff.
Thank you.
We got Jeff and Chris here, the founders of Brew Stooges, the brewers too. So why don't we start? Two of the three.
Yeah, Tracy, can't forget Tracy.
Where's Tracy at?
Tracy's over here.
He's scared.
There he is.
He's the camera shy.
Smile, Tracy. Yay,
He's the camera shy one.
All right, so let's start where we always start. What the heck is a mash tun? Let's talk about that right off the bat.
Okay, well, the mash tun is the vessel that where you mix the crushed grains and hot water. And what that does is the hot water allows the enzymes in the grains to convert most of the starches in the grains to sugars. And it's those sugars that we draw off to make beer. That's what the yeast will eat.
And that's where the magic happens.
That's where the magic
everything happens right in there.
So we'll take different types of malted grain, mix them together for the various recipes, throw them in there, and get all the good sweetness out.
Which makes sense, and that's why we kind of named this series that. I want to give it up to Free the Hops, too, who helped put this together. Everybody for Again, this is our third in the series. We started off at Salty Nut. We went to Blue Pants.
Blue Pants.
Now we're here with Brew Stooges, and we're going on with the local breweries here in Huntsville. Is what making Huntsville so great, right? Let's get right down to why it's so great is because of the beer. So why don't you give us a kind of what makes Brew Stooges a little different from the other breweries in town? What's the beer difference that makes all the difference here?
Well, we lean pretty heavily on the malt side. So we've got a lot of hops. We have a lot of fun in the hop side, but we have a lot of malts. We go for sweet. We go for smooth. We go for a lot of
high ABV.
Well,
medium high ABV.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, wait until you see the big stuff.
Okay.
We have a lot of interesting things coming out. It's springtime, and it's Heffy time, so we should be having our Heffy come out pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking right now. So
All
this
right.
is the Witless Wheat. Hasn't been seen since last year, so we're bringing that out again for our one of our summer seasonals.
When will that be ready?
That should be ready next week. We'll have it in the kegs this weekend and ship it to our distributors next week. And we need to talk to them about having some kind of rollout, I guess, but we haven't really set that up yet.
Right.
But it is available here at the tap room right now.
And we asked this of the other breweries too, so let's get a little background into what's the name about. Let's talk about Brew Stooges right there. That's where we usually start. So go ahead and start about that.
All right.
Well, that kind of started, Tracy and I were working on our pilot brew system, had just got a new system. We were kind of learning it, making a few knucklehead mistakes. And so at one point I just looked at it and said, man, it's like Two Stooges Brewing, and the name kind of stuck.
Done.
But sometimes those mistakes lead to some of the best beer. And it was actually one of those mistakes that we were brewing one recipe for the knucklehead, made kind of a little mistake, and it turned out to be a pleasant one. So we kind of
That's a reoccurring theme.
enshrined that.
Every time we go to a brewery, we talk about and they say how they messed up, and then it winds up being kind of
Being
fortuitous.
good, yeah.
Right, yeah, it kind of works out.
So, but the big thing is try different stuff, and that's what everybody start with something, change this, change that.
All right. So let's also talk about some of the staple beers here, the people that people know Brew Stooges for. So what's some of those beers about? Talk about those.
Oh man, we start out with Knucklehead.
The Knucklehead.
That's
right.
the big one right
That's
now.
the big
Okay.
one. Everybody loves Knucklehead. The vanilla Knucklehead is like our #1 seller. We've got espresso Knucklehead. We've got vanilla Knucklehead. We've got regular Knucklehead. We've got
The hot chocolate knucklehead.
What makes it the Knucklehead? What's the common ingredient that makes
well,
all
other
those
than
Knucklehead?
him.
Well, that was one of the knucklehead mistakes, that we talked about a minute ago. But no, the knucklehead is just a good, robust style porter with a lot of rich roast malt flavor, lots of chocolate malts in there, and we've actively worked to kind of smooth it out and make sure that it finishes clean and doesn't linger on the palate. And we think that makes it for a really easy drinking beer. It's not heavy. Not a real thick beer, even though it's very dark, but it's one I drink year round.
That's what I noticed. There's some dark beers, but it doesn't taste thick. They're really good.
It doesn't give you that
And I
thick
think that's an ongoing
mouthfeel.
theme here. Like sort of higher ABV, but they don't taste like it. They really taste really easy to drink and really light, and that's where they sneak up.
We
on
needed
you
this
when
in
they're
high school.
That's right. That's right.
Now, if you want to sneak up on, we're going to sneak over to Numbskull, which is our Russian Imperial Stout. It's a normal winter beer, but man, we still got
That
a
one
little
is
bit.
kind of thick.
We got a little bit left. It's got about this much flavor, so it's a really interesting beer. As a matter of fact, you should try this.
All right, so what do
Oh,
we
is
got?
this
What do we got
the
here?
beer
What
float?
is this?
This is a beer float.
This is with the
We got ice
numbskull?
cream. We got
And
ice
it's
cream.
with Numbskull. It's
With
vanilla
Numbskull,
ice
right?
cream and Numbskull, and it's very exciting, very interesting, very good, and it's well, what are we calling
Pretty
it?
good.
Becky's
This is Becky's beer floats,
Becky's
right?
beer floats. Yeah,
That's real good.
isn't that great?
Yeah, this is a concoction put together by our best beer tender, Becky Volans. She's here every
All right, here we go.
Friday and Saturday night.
That's
and,
right, man.
just does a wonderful job. With some of the-
She's the one who made the Yam I Am
famous with the
spectacular.
With the rim.
Oh yeah,
With the rim job.
With the rim.
She
That
did the
was-
rim with the MIM too. So here you go.
All right,
I know
so
you don't want to miss it.
That's really good. So we move over from that to Imperial Stout. What's next?
All right. Well, since he's got a mouthful, we'll go to Wise Guy, which is our Imperial IPA.
Okay.
That's the biggest beer we make, 10.1% alcohol.
Wow.
It's got IBUs in the neighborhood of 159. But since we hop it through the whole thing, including mash tun hopping, try and say that in English, all the way up into the tank, we keep the astringency and that cloying thing in your throat way down low. So very bitter, very big, very balanced.
Okay.
Definitely striving to get a smooth bitterness out of that.
That's
as
right.
opposed to like a harsh biting bitterness in it. So we're
What would you recommend for somebody coming here for the first time?
Yeah, if they have to try one beer from Brew Stooges, what's that beer?
Man, that's a hard question.
that is.
It's the hot seat.
It
Yeah, that's
I always
usually
steer
the
people to
best
the
seller. We'll go with the knucklehead color.
vanilla knucklehead.
Vanilla knucklehead, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. See,
I'll probably
vanilla
take
knucklehead. Yeah.
But
All
we do
right.
tend to ask them questions. Sometimes, like if they like coffee a lot, the espresso porter is really hard to beat.
All right.
But the blonde is another one that everybody really likes.
So
That's usually a go-to, right?
I was
A
talking to
blonde.
somebody else, and they said they get the blonde here because it's usually a little easier to drink. It's lower.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is
a
very
lower ABV and
smooth.
stuff
It's
like that,
easy
right?
to drink. Good
It's a
session
session
beer.
Yeah, it's an easy one to drink and it's fun too. And
All
you
right.
can.
But
I like
it
to
has a
switch
good
up.
malt flavor. You know,
Okay.
like going back to the malty beer theme as opposed to some of the more hot.
All right, give us another one.
Dizzy Dame.
I was going to say we haven't
Yeah.
got the Dizzy Dame. yet.
Absolutely.
That's,
Yeah, what is your
that's my
favorite,
favorite,
man?
right? And that's
Yeah.
the one I tell
Favorite.
everybody to drink. So talk a little bit about Dizzy Dame.
That one's a raspberry blonde. It's got a blonde base. It's a pretty strong beer. It's an imperial. It's 8.5% alcohol. It doesn't taste like it. Very smooth,
Not
very
at all.
easy going.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Light.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of honey in it.
Yeah, a lot of honey.
It's a lot of
again,
flavor.
It's
It's-
a light-bodied beer that is deceptively strong, and the raspberry flavor. I know a lot of people don't like. Or
It's
not
subtle.
big on the fruit beers, but the raspberry's subtle on
It's
this one. And
way
it,
subtle,
It
like-
mixes very well with the
No,
malt
it's done
flavor.
really well. It's done very subtle. Like, yeah, because I've had beers before where they're fruity or whatever.
Yeah, it's just
not
over
for
the
me.
top, and
this
that's-
is not like that at all.
It's not raspberry juice.
That's right.
And not at all.
Not at
And
all.
you can
And-
probably even barely tell that it's raspberry. You know some
You get a
flavors
hint.
there, but you can't really place it, and that's
Yeah.
what I really like about it. It's great.
And keep your eyes open. I'm not sure when, but probably within the next month or so, there'll be a variant of Dizzy that we're going to come out with. It's going to be, instead of being a blonde, it's going to be actually a blue head, but it'll be a brunette. So it'll be blueberries. We're going to try it with blueberries.
Ooh.
All right.
I have a friend of mine who's got a blueberry patch. So
But you know, you mentioned the subtleness of the raspberry flavor, and that
Very.
kind of touches on another theme that we kind of like to bake into our beers, and try to make things kind of greater than the sum of their parts, so to speak. So everything we want everything to resonate
Right.
together, and have flavors that complement each other.
Yeah, that works out pretty good. All right, let's go to another one. What else we
right.
got?
well, let's see. We got the Yam I Am, which is a fall beer, and the Gnarly Gourd. We'll talk about both of those things. The Yam I Am was. Let's see. You came up with that one day. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
do something weird.
Well, we were thinking about what to do for a fall seasonal, and everybody does pumpkins, so I was thinking more, Thanksgiving instead of Halloween. I said, okay, well, hey, sweet potato pie. Everybody loves
Right.
sweet potato pie. So
It's-
we looked around and we found up a recipe for a yam ale and worked on it. Did some test batches, tweaked it up, and yam I am
it's
came
a
out.
brilliant
It's wonderful.
beer.
Yeah.
Thanks. But you know,
With Becky's magic around the.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
So this, you're
That's
talking about
definitely an added
putting the
dimension.
cinnamon around the outside of it.
Yeah. She calls it a rim job.
I know what she calls it. All right.
Yep.
You just had to say that again.
That's right.
No, but it's that's the other one I tell people they have to try here. The Dizzy Dame is my first, and then the Yam I Am is definitely right up there as well,
Right.
because I think, oh, man, they're just so good.
So that's a spiced vegetable beer. So it has the fall spices of nutmeg, ginger, cinnamon, and some allspice.
Right,
and then with
right.
the yams, it gives you kind of that sweet potato pie flavor.
You guys always have it. I mean, it's usually on tap too, though.
No, it's
Well,
only
we're
a
out.
beer.
We're out.
You're out now.
We have a
Yeah.
half a keg left, so you better be
Oh,
drinking it
I
now,
thought somebody
man.
was drinking it.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, about 3/4 of a keg.
You yam drinking it?
All right.
And then we've also got, and on the other side, since it is a pumpkin, we have a pumpkin beer. It's the Gnarly Gourd. It's
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
incredible beer too. It's similar to the yam, but it's got more of the pumpkin background. We throw a load of pumpkin in that thing when we brew it, so
It's really good.
that one.
Can't go
goes
wrong
pretty
with
good.
any of the beers, really. I always tell people this is a place I can go and just whatever. Just give me whatever.
It's convenient located, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is that too. Isn't it?
And if
Yeah,
you don't
usually when they come up and they don't know what to try, I always say, well, start this in and work your way down.
work your way down. Yeah, so if anybody doesn't know, it's 109 Maple. It's down by Lincoln Mill, if you don't know where that's at, and Copper Top is kind of in the same area. Again, Thursday through Saturdays, you guys can come here and go to the tap room, try the beers out. They have all kinds of. Talk about some of the events and some of the venue. You're kind of like a venue now, so you have shows here all the time. So talk about some of those things going on.
Okay, well, I mean, we try to have some entertainment at least once a week and usually on Saturdays.
Okay.
Other thing, and that's usually a band of some type. Although we have also had some magic shows come in, and we have the comedy,
Magic.
Mix it up,
the
whatever.
magic brew, or not magic, the comedy show, Strange Brew, the Strange Brew comedy series
Okay,
comes
yeah,
in
yeah,
from
those
time
guys,
to time.
right.
A lot of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
lowers.
Yeah.
And tonight we have Cheryl Michaels that's doing the Brews and Brush. She likes Thursdays,
It's her day.
and so
Yep.
and so that's tonight, and that's where you can come down. You pay a flat fee, and you get all your art supplies, and Cheryl will put up a picture, and you get to kind of follow along, and then you get something to take home with you.
Yeah, there's a plug right there.
That's right.
And our friend Scott Easton, he's having comedy shows here as well, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes. That's,
Well, yeah, Scott.
that's-
He's the one that does the Strange Brew.
He's
comedy.
the Strange
So that's
Brew.
who I was talking about.
There you go.
And the Brews and Brush, like I said, is really fun. It's very interesting to watch, and especially if you're like me and don't really have a lot of talent, except for
Right.
brewing beer. But
Then you feed people Dizzy Dame, and you see how it comes out.
Actually, he's got to. I've seen him fix a lawnmower with duct tape today.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I had help.
I'm not sure I'd call that talent.
It worked for me.
All right, so we also want to talk a little bit about, you can find Brew Stooges on Facebook. So if you go to Facebook, it's / the Brew Stooges. So check them out there.
Yep.
Come on down here. This is a great place. They're doing really good beer here. They're one of the reasons that Huntsville's blowing up for kind of a brewery town. You guys are doing it right. I mean, it's obviously Joe's favorite place. It's one of my favorite places. I think the beer garden out back is starting to get bigger and do better.
yeah.
things
Oh, yeah.
and
We
events.
got
We're gonna
plans for that.
Continue to get bigger, which is really cool. Guys, thanks so much for having us. Thanks so much. Give it up to Frida Hops. And
Free the hops.
This is wonderful beer. Come here, check it out. Stay for the events. But guys, thanks so much. It's great.
Thanks
Good,
for having
thanks. I
us.
appreciate it,
Enjoyed
man. Thanks. Have some ice cream.
That's nice.
That beer float, excellent.
Yeah, it's good, isn't
It's
it?
almost gone.
Bone to pick with Tracy to not get ice cream and beer.
Something freaks me out about drinking beer from a straw.
That used to be the way to get drunk fast. Or
But you should drink your wine out of a straw.
Yeah, you're supposed to work it that
I
way.
think my Zima's at a straw. That's what I used to do.
Zima.
Yeah, but
Get it
it's
right,
not really
dude.
beer.
Oh, yes, it is.
No, it's malt beverage.
Okay.
Get it right.
Is it brewed?